What's up, guys? I'm Jesse.
And I'm Afton, and this is
the Much Podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited. Our first episode.
We are pumped to be here.
So excited.
This has been such a long journey, seriously, since this kind of developed.
Yes, I can't wait.
And we're finally here. Studio is set up.
Yes.
And we are so pumped.
So pumped.
So we first just want to start talking about our podcast, how this came to be, what it's based off of. Much is kind of a peculiar name, so
yeah, and we want to give you a little background of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the verse that we chose to be our model for our podcast.
Yes.
And it is Luke 12:48, and it says, when someone has been given much, much will be required in return. And when someone has been entrusted with much, even more will be required. And I love that.
Love it. So we stole our name.
Yes.
I'm unashamed to say we stole our name from my really good friend Joni. She's been a spiritual mother and just a dear friend of mine. And she had told me once she wanted to get this tattooed on herself, and I always kind of kept it with me of just that verse. That it really is the heart of this podcast. Just
what's funny is when she told me this was going to be when she told me that this was the name, I had already had a name in my head, and I couldn't even tell you what that is right now. But when she said much, I was like, yep, that's it. And if you know me, like Jesse, everything is, I don't know about that. Let's change it. I'm a very indecisive person, but I knew right then when she said, I was like, nope, that's it. That's
the name.
So I know that this is definitely. Go ahead.
Just it's like it's a divine appointment for us.
Is.
Like
it really
is very ordained by God, and we'll get into the story of how this kind of came to be. But this is like we're on task, just doing what God has asked of us, and we truly feel like, we have been given much. We've been entrusted with ministries already.
Absolutely.
And just like this verse, when you've been given much, much will be required. So when we felt like we were both being called to this, we just embraced it. We're like, all right, I guess we're starting a podcast. Like,
yeah, and it's so funny. I can't wait to get into just the details of it all, because it is so. It was so laid out. The foundation was laid out perfectly by the Holy Spirit, and I love that.
Absolutely.
So,
with this being our first episode, we're just going to give you a little background. And like I mentioned, kind of talk about how this came to be, because this was such a divine appointment. So we're just going to jump right into that.
I'm Afton, and I've been married for 20 years to my best friend. We have 2 kids. We have a boy that is 19, and we have a girl that is 16, and then we have a boy that's 2 years old that we're helping raise right now, and we've had him for about 18 months, but that is a story for another podcast that I am excited to share about. I serve at our local church, the Hill Church, shout out to them, right? Yes. I've been there for 12 years now, and I absolutely love serving and doing ministry. That is what I feel like I'm called to do. I lead the women's ministry there, and me and my husband have a marriage small group where we want to see marriages flourish.
Yeah.
And in my spare time, when I do get spare time, I love to spend time with my friends, and we like to travel.
Yeah.
We're always traveling. And I also take photos. I'm a photographer. It's kind of my hobby, but it's a little bit about me. Jesse, what about you?
Well, my name is Jessie. Obviously, I have been married to my bestie for 13 years, and we also got married really young. So, and we have 2 boys, younger ages. So I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. He's about to hit double digits, and that's just really sad.
Oh.
Yeah. And we are always chasing them around. So we are very heavily involved in sports pretty much year round at this point, taking them to practice, which the struggle.
Yes.
She's always running to practice somewhere. And we enjoy hunting in our spare time. So we do a lot of hunting. We do about everything, fishing, hunting. We travel to hunt, all of that. So very heavily involved in just like family and sports and outdoors. I work as an engineer, which is kind of shocking if you know me.
Very, very shocking.
The least.
She's directionally challenged.
I am directionally
and
challenged.
She had to follow me here.
Challenged.
And I looked back, and she's literally like slow as a turtle driving. So when I got here, I said, "Do you always drive that slow?" Mm-hmm. And you're directionally challenged. You're an engineer. How many times have I told you this when we've been doing the studio? Yeah. I'm just teasing. She's amazing. She's amazing.
I'm like, I don't know how to get there. So, need help. So I work in a manufacturing facility, so steel toe boots and all the things. But in my spare time, I really enjoy reading and exercising, and I also love traveling. So whenever my husband allows, usually it's a hunting trip, but we do go traveling. We're actually getting ready to do like a pre-spring break. We leave in a couple days, so pretty excited about that. But I started leading our women's ministry when the Hill came to Eldo. So sister church dropped in my hometown, and I was asked to lead the women's ministry. And that's kind of where Afton and I started connecting, because she was well-versed in all the women ministry things. And so we just kind of started chatting and planning and seeing, you know, what events we could kind of pull from each other and bounce ideas off of each other. And yeah, that's really where our friendship kind of started.
It's definitely where our friendship started. I think it's exciting to see, now that I look back, how God was connected in all those little moments, those little times that we were meeting and going over women's ministry. So whenever Jesse came on to the women's ministry in Eldo, it was funny because I just felt like I should just take her under my wing a little bit, I guess is what you would say. Yeah. I don't even know if you would call it that, but just, I really wanted to help her flourish, because I knew that God had purposely put her in that role, and I knew that I could help, you know, make that transition easier. Also, I knew that we could work together, and unity is such a big thing. And so we started doing we did a few events together.
Yeah. Like the Christmas events, and it kind
just
of
worked.
Partnered on a couple things.
Yeah, and it was just neat. I remember the first time meeting you, like actually meeting you at the Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I knew when I left there, I'm like, this is gonna be great. Like, she knew, like, she's a planner. Yes. Total planner, which I love. I would say I'm not. That's something I need to work on, but that works for us. Yeah. We just clicked. And so in that, what was so much fun is we decided we would just do a women's conference is kind of where our big event started.
You came to me and you're like, I'm thinking women's conference this year. And I'm like,
yes.
What does that look like? So we started planning. I feel like you're really more the visionary, and I'm more of the like enabler. Yes. Like, okay, we're gonna need this, and this. Then we start a list, and you're like, cool.
Yeah, I have a vision, and she has the list, and that's just kind of how it works for us. But we had this incredible women's conference. I mean, for our first time, it was a packed house, and we left there just
on cloud nine. Yeah, really.
Like, just talking about it makes me just. It gives me like the chills. And
it was so wild. Another example of just like God working in all the little details.
Yes.
And I mean, we were so pumped up coming out of this conference, but just one of the things, like, conference was amazing. I just wanted to touch on one thing, because Afton and I dreamt up this idea like middle of the year. It was actually probably like January, February, something like that.
That's when we really started honing down on it.
And so budgets are already like approved.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to figure out how to do this with no budget, because we have our women's ministry budget that we use for our regularly scheduled events. And so we're gonna throw a whole conference. Like, we don't have a budget. We can't pay speakers. We can't, we're gonna have to be creative and figure out how we're gonna do this. And so we're like, you know what? It'll all work out. We plan the whole conference, and after conference closes, it was literally like whatever time. Afton's in there crunching numbers. Give me all your receipts. Like, she crunches everything, and it came down to like the difference. It was like $100.
It was incredible,
and we were just like
We
It's
did
God.
it. It was God.
It was only God.
It really was. And so many women have came back and given us, feedback on that. And it was just a really a fun thing, but also a purposeful thing that we definitely felt called to do.
Yeah.
And so that was all God. But
Yes. And speaking after that, like this is really where the podcast kind of blossomed, I guess, for us.
Yeah. So funny story is I have been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, but I'm also a dreamer. So I have lots of dreams. And so I might think of something one day and be like, oh, obviously, like that's not. But I really got to put it on my heart to start a podcast. And I joked around with my best friend for a while about like, we need to do a podcast. And I know that she was probably thinking, oh no, like this is not no. So I had finally just decided, you know what, I'm just going to start a podcast. And so I text Jesse in August. And because Jesse has a podcast.
So I felt called, did I do that maybe close to 2 years? And that is also a very interesting story that my husband was like, I feel like, so we would attend church together and part of the message, maybe something would be said that he didn't understand. So post church, we would always talk about like, what'd you learn from church today? What'd you get out of it? We'd always kind of discuss the sermon, and he would always have questions, and I would explain stuff in a like very broken down, like basic way, like, oh, it's like this, or here's an analogy. And he's like, I think that you should start like a YouTube thing and just do that, like 5 minutes with Jesus and Jesse, and just do like little like 5-minute sermons, if you will, on certain topics, like break it down where people understand, like people need that. And I was like, okay. And so I felt like that was confirmed, like from God, this is what I'm asking you to do. And so I did that. I put out weekly 5-minute episodes for like over a year, just doing my thing in my kitchen, whatever I just felt like I needed to be talking about that week.
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit of experience on like the how to set up a YouTube page and how to edit. Like, this is what's so funny too, because this is the photographer and I'm more of the like, my husband and I film we film our hunts and stuff. And so I bring all this camera equipment in here, and Afton is like, what is all of this? And I'm like, we film our hunts. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like,
no
literally.
idea.
This thing probably has like dirt from like 10 different states on it. Like, we towed it around everywhere with us, and
it's probably got like elk poop or something.
It probably does. Like, we bring it around with us everywhere. So I was like, girl, I got the equipment, and I kind of relied on her for like the aesthetics. Like, the aesthetics is all Afton. Because I'm like, I don't care. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be pink, it could be. She's like, no, these colors. I'm like, okay. So it was so funny too how he just like paired us with like, you're going to be good at this side and you're going to be good at this side. Yeah. So we started talking about this a little bit, and this list like just started like launching. But let me back up just a little bit. So I had been doing the 5-minute episodes, and post conference, like I felt, and I had been talking to my mentor Joni, and she's like, conference was a launching pad for you. She's like, you need to be waiting for what's next. She's like, you're about to get a new assignment. Like, that was kind of like a test, if you will. I don't want to like necessarily use the word test, but like, I guess an opportunity to embrace what God's really calling you to do.
Yeah.
And it was us really partnering together and working on this conference. And so post-conference, I had this like feeling of, I'm being asked what's next. And we were at a church. What does that say? Change the battery pack. I could read that.
Do you have extra battery?
No, I charged it all night.
Shut up.
Pause. Change the battery.
Can you please put that in there for our first episode as a blooper?
So I had been feeling like I was anticipating the next ask, like, you're gearing up for something for me. So I had been anticipating that. And we had a church leadership meeting like we regularly have, and they were discussing struggling with youth. So our youth pastors got called to be the pastors of our church. And so there was a vacancy for like youth. We had some people filling in, and I was like, okay, God. So I sent Afton my journal entry, post all of this, but I had been writing my journal like, okay, God, I feel like, you know, there's clearly an opportunity in youth. If this is the direction that you're wanting me to go, like just confirm that somehow. Like, show me that's where you want me to go, and I'll spend my time there. I'll do that if that's what you're calling me to. And it was literally like the next day or a couple days after.
I messaged her and I said, hey, I want to pick your brain about a podcast, because I knew that she had her 5 minutes, and I was like, so I texted her that, and she was like, I think you responded with like some emoji, honestly.
It probably was.
It was so funny.
Yes. Because in my mind,
I'm like, I just want to pick your brain. Like, I don't want you to be on this podcast. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing.
I think that's how it was, though, and that's okay.
Just kidding.
But I like sent back an emoji, and to me, it was like confirmation from God. He's like, nope, because I had also had in the back of my head, my friend Joni and I had joked forever, we should have a podcast. But she lives in Pittsburgh, and so, you know, obviously it would have always been like virtual, so we had never pursued that idea, but I had always had in the back of my head a podcast, and I had always had much. And so I was like, yeah, let's chat, let's hang out, let's have some coffee, whatever.
So basically I saved you from having to work in youth.
Yes, she rescued me from youth. But we sat down at coffee, and I said, I think I opened by like, I don't know if you're asking me to be on this podcast with you, but that's what I'm hearing. So,
and I was like, no, I joke a lot, but ultimately it was a divine appointment, is what it really was.
Absolutely.
And I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And
what's the flickering light your husband's talking about? Disco. Did it stop?
Oh, why is it doing that? Okay. Don't mind that. Cut that out. But what I knew was a divine, and then after I was like, you know, I am vision geared, I'm a dreamer, and so we had all these things, and it has taken a long time.
Yeah.
You know, God has really given me and you some patience along this.
Absolutely.
So this isn't just something that was just
right now.
Yeah.
I was ready to go. Like August, I was like, let's go. When are we meeting up? And she's like, okay, time out. We don't have a studio. We don't have branding. We have nothing set up and ready. And I'm like, oh, I just use my phone. Like, let's just, you know, we could start recording anytime. And she's like, no.
No, I wanted it to be
ready, like,
yeah,
prepared.
I wanted to be prepared, and I think that it was a timeline that we needed to go through.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the right timing.
Yeah.
And so we kept saying, oh, first of the year, and a few people, we've let in a few people know, and they're like, oh, when is it? And I was
happening?
Like, yeah, well,
yes,
but like I said, we have busy lives too, and we're just trying to make it, you know?
Yeah, we do have very busy lives.
Yeah.
And we live in a really small town, so it's not like we could have just rented a space.
Right.
And had a studio available. And so once we kind of were like, okay, let's do this, I started researching. I'm like, we need these microphones, we need this recording device, I already have a camera, you already had lights. Like, we just kind of started.
And I'm like, we need to get coloring, and we need to do all this, and I'm the aesthetic vibe, and it stresses me out. It's just funny how it all came about.
Yes.
But don't you love this wall though?
It's so cute. I have to give a shout out though to Casey, because Casey, Afton's husband, is like the real MVP behind this podcast, because bless his heart, he has done.
And I'm just used to him being so awesome.
Oh my gosh. So we are in the studio. This is our studio. We're in the studio.
We'll have to show you some before images. You'll need to post a before and after of this.
This is Afton's mom's she shed.
Yeah.
So we totally came and invaded her space. We cleaned out like an area. So on the back side of this studio is like Afton's mom's.
We're not ready for guests quite yet. Let's just say that.
So we cleared everything out. Casey came in here and painted, and then painted again because we did not like the color.
Yeah.
Don't send your husband to pick out pinks.
Yeah. There's like a million different pinks.
Yes.
Okay. And so he has been awesome and definitely could not have done it without him.
He did the flooring, the painting. We got a sign, so we ordered the sign. And it was not the right shade of pink.
It was terrible.
So Casey spray painted our sign for it. I mean, it's been like, it's kind of comical now, like how many things.
It is. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, it's fine. Casey can just do it.
Yeah.
My husband can just do it. My husband will just do
fine.
it. It's fine.
And he has been so sweet. So we got in here today and we started getting all of our stuff set up. And yeah, he took a picture for us. And the sweetest thing, he like prayed over us and over me and my husband and just like this new adventure that we're on. And so, yeah, I mean,
he's been really supportive and really believes in this podcast. So
it's so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can't be praying before we start. Like I was like tearing up. So, you know, the mission of our podcast, this is really just, you know, very faith-based. We just want to be real with you guys, offer, you know, very raw, relatable, vulnerable stories, conversations, advice, whatever that may be. And so, you know,
I think too, like, you're going to see a real, raw, a lot of you are going to be able to relate, and some of you might not be able to, but you will be able to, like, watch us and be like, oh, I get that. Or we don't want this to be something that is where we're just, like, looking off of notes and it's just, no, we want it to be us. We want it to be real, and we want it to be genuine.
Yeah, like a casual conversation.
And we make a lot of mistakes, okay? Or I do. She does not. I make a lot of mistakes, and I don't do everything correctly, okay? But that is what is so awesome about this podcast, is because we get to do this together, and we get to share in that with other people. And that's really, you know, what it's all about. But
and it, you know, the everyday life and the purpose behind the much has been given to you, much is required of you, and so it's just like us, two ordinary people just minding our business, serving in the church, serving in women's ministry, being called to this. But really we felt like that was God's calling. Like, you have gifts that I have given you, and now I'm calling you to more.
And everyone has that.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has a gift, and everyone has been called to something. And so it's important to say yes. We don't know all the answers. We don't know what this is going to do. We don't know if, you know, we may have one person watch, but we're being obedient. And I think that's so important. So if you're someone that's out there that's just kind of on the fence about something, you just need to say yes. If you know, you just need to say yes to God.
Yeah.
And just do it not knowing, because He will, like we've seen, prepare that whole road that way. He's paved that whole.
Yeah.
But I will say, a couple months ago when we were trying to write our, I'm going to talk about this. When we were trying to write
the mission of the podcast.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that was intense, okay? Because you're like, okay, I want this, and this, but I want it to be this, and this. And I'm over here like, how are we going to incorporate all that? And then I decide, at some random point, I go, I'm terrible at this. I have so many things that I'm terrible at stewarding. I don't think this should be our vision or our purpose or anything. And, you know, that was just totally the enemy. But it's so funny because we literally that is why God gave us one another to speak into whenever we're down. And so we hashed it out, and I'm like, okay, I don't have to be good at this.
No.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to be good at this. I want to get better, right? I want to get better, and we want people to learn, and we want to learn from you as well. And so that was such a funny pivotal moment. Like, okay, and then I was like, okay, fine, we'll do. I'm like, it's
because she's like, there's so many things that I don't steward well, and I'm like, that is not the point. The point is the thing that God said, I want you to steward this gift. That's, that is walking in obedience, and that's doing what he's called you to do. And we can do that. Like, he didn't say, Afton, let's have a class on time management or something. I'm giving you a hard time. But he's not calling us on the things that we're not necessarily good at stewarding. He's like, this is what I have given you thus far, and now I'm asking for more. Like, much has been given to you, much is required for you. So I'm asking you to trust me, and I'm asking you to take another step.
And it's not an excuse for someone to say, well, I'm bad at that. Like, I'm not good at that. Like, that's not an excuse.
Yep.
No, we need to get better.
Yep.
Like, I need to get better.
Yes.
So I feel like people will be able to relate to that.
Absolutely.
So,
and this podcast is going to be a lot of, some spiritual growth, friendships, marriage talk, testimonies. I'm really excited for some testimonies.
Yeah, we're excited to have some people on here that are just going to rock your world.
Yes. And so you'll see all parts of that. So, stewarding the gift, maybe stewarding, your home life, or stewarding your marriage, or
stewarding your work.
Yeah, or teaching, or anything. And so we're really excited to just have like some real people, some raw conversations, and always point you guys back towards God. You know?
And that's our ultimate goal, is to point you back to God, and that, we're all human.
Yeah.
And we all fall short, but
Absolutely.
so thankful that we have Jesus. Don't put that in there. I was going to say something different, but don't put that in there. Cat.
But we are so excited.
Yeah, we are so excited.
There's hair just everywhere. So this has been like a 6-month journey now, probably, of us assembling everything, getting all the pieces together, and coming to this point today where we're like,
it almost doesn't feel real.
This is real. We have
pulling
a studio.
in, and I'm like,
we have a podcast.
I sent her Marco Polo. If you don't have Marco Polo, you should get it because it's really fun. But I sent her Marco Polo the other day. Yeah, last night. I mean, brushing my teeth. Like, I was so excited.
The whole video is just her brushing this. She's like,
so excited.
I'm so excited. Like, thank you for that.
But we talk every day.
Yeah.
And we have just grown a lot. I think too, that was a big thing too as well. Our friendship has grown, and our likes and dislikes, and just everything you need, that you're going to be working with someone that literally you just throw someone in there that just like, oh yeah, I want to be on this podcast. I'm just kind of just
I'm inserting myself.
No, I'm just teasing. I joke around a lot, but in all seriousness, it's like it gave us time to really
get to
understand each other a little bit more, because there's a lot of understanding in this.
And I'm a very private person usually. Like, I don't open up to people, and so I mean, even through this, like us talking, Marco Polo, we do that a lot, like every day. But there's already been some conversations on there where I'm like, you're gonna have to speak life into this because I'm struggling, or vice versa, you're struggling, and I'm like, no, that's not.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, but it's really been like God set this all up from the beginning, like from calling me to women's ministry, from you mentoring me, taking me under your wing from the beginning, all the way till now, and here we are.
And I couldn't be more excited for this journey, and our hope is that you will want to listen to us more. Yes. Don't go off of this first episode.
Lots of cuts. Please cut.
But we're so excited to get to know each one of you guys as well, and just get to share in this season of our life.
Yeah. So please give us all the likes and follows and subscribe and support us in any way that you can. And yeah, we're just really excited.
You know, it sounds cliche, but like when you share, you know, it might not be you that this influences. It might be someone that's, we really feel like people need to be influenced by our podcast, and there is, even if it's just that one person out there, like we know that God is going to give us direction. I don't like any of that.
Why?
That was terrible.
That's not terrible.
Even if it's just like a share, or, you know, just telling your friends, it might not be for you, then that's fine. But there is someone out there that definitely needs that encouragement, and that's what we're here for. We want to encourage you in your walk, because it is not an easy walk. So, but together it makes it better. We're not called to do this life alone, and we want you to know that we love you. No, we do love you.
Love you.
We really do love you, and like I said, we don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna figure it out with you. Okay?
Yes. So follow along on our journey.
Subscribe,
like, follow, all the things. Thank you for listening to our first episode, and we're so excited to come back hopefully soon.
Yes, we're gonna start. You gotta go somewhere, but we'll be back.
We'll be back soon with more content for you guys. So
love you guys. When are we gonna end it?
I don't know how we're gonna end.
I don't know
how are we ending?
And we just want to leave you with, you were made for much more.